I'm a dad who games, and this is the Resident Evil mansion in The Sims 4. It's a 64 by 64 lot. There's no CC, but I do have a bunch of the packs installed. Take a look down below for a list of what I have. Based primarily on the 1996 original, everything is represented here on this single lot. Every map, every room, every detail I've included here. I did include some aspects of the 2002 remake, mostly just because some of the choices that they made in designing that game, it made the mansion look a lot cooler, so I did include them. I also did tweak some of the sizes of rooms, just because Sims furniture is a specific size, and it was all about making sure that Sims can actually use this. It's a totally functional house. In both versions of the game, you never see the outside of the house. I mean, you might see like a snippet here or there, but pretty much it's up to your imagination. In designing the outside, it was a process of elimination, looking at all the columns, windows, doors, and then deciding on the ones that I thought looked cool together. I approached the inside the same exact way, process of elimination, but all the while trying to make sure that it still looked like the video game. But the original is pretty plain. The remake, it looks amazing. But there's no way I would have been able to recreate that. What I ended up with was just making sure it looked cool. Once I found what I liked, I just ran with it and kept that style throughout the entire mansion. This brings up a good point. With the exception of the maps, everything is based completely on my memory of the game. So the whole premise of Resident Evil is that this is a normal looking mansion with a secret underground laboratory where they do all their experiments and everything got loose. But okay, so there's going to be bedrooms in this house, so who's going to be using them? Scientists, researchers. So throughout this entire house, when I didn't know what to do with a room, I just turned it into an office or a study because that's what you would expect to find. Second floor is the biggest example of how I tried to just populate a space that would have been totally empty and boring if I had just simply made an identical copy of the 96 version of the mansion. The library. Now this room pretty much speaks for itself. I had to put books in the library. In the original, you couldn't even tell that it was a library. I mean, there were books, but the walls were empty. It was kind of more like a mausoleum. In the remake, there's no books at all because a giant snake lives there, but it's a 2-story library, and I thought that was really cool, so that's what I went with here. It's clear that when they made this game, it was more about making the gameplay and exploration and puzzles, not so much the realism of the building itself. The location of the ballroom just doesn't make any sense. Like on the second floor next to an armory? Huh? The Vampire Pack and Strangerville really were the two main packs that made this possible. Oh, the importance of ladders in this build. If you don't have ladders, you can't do it. I'm really proud of, well, the entire build itself, but this courtyard is pretty insane because there's so many ladders and water and different platforms all intertwined. And after the second portion, or starting in the second portion of the courtyard, the rest of this entire build is underneath the first floor. Everything's in the basement. The name would suggest the guardhouse is the house of guards. So I made it look like a place where guards would live. Made the bar look like a bar. There's no pool table, so it's a full foosball table, but hey, what are you gonna do? That, and also the location of a giant man-eating plant and some giant zombie sharks, because Resident Evil. I first mapped this entire thing out, I realized that the final lab area is located directly next to this underground area. So I decided to extend the lab. Rather than sitting there putting more and more moss to try to pretend to make it look like a dirty looking cave, I just decided it would be easier to change it into something. Again, Strangerville, thank you Strangerville for all of the cool lab things. The underground lab speaks for itself in how I designed it. It's a place where they do experiments on humans and viruses. So you're going to have lots of operating rooms, lots of places that they're going to be recording things. It's a place for, I guess, a place for learning. I absolutely love this room because in the video game itself, for me, it was the scariest room because it was just steamy, it was dark and red lights only, and there was the creepy monkey monsters that would like climb on the top and chase you. I never really understood that, but hey, it scared me. This is actually 3 stories tall, this room, because I really wanted to make sure that it was huge. I mean, you're going to have a huge monster, it's got to be an impressive room. Thank you so much for watching my video. It took me a lot of time to make it, especially with all the trial and error of making my very first YouTube video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to join me on more building and video gaming adventures. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. I'm active on both. And until the next, I'm a dad who games.